Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be ranking all MCU projects so far, and I think there are going to be some surprises because I think Thor Ragnarok is a tad overrated. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so the first Captain America movie, I think it's pretty solid. I like a lot of the history movies, and I can see that these movies have actually been somewhat presented in chronological order. Yeah, it's cool. So we're going to do them in chronological order, and I think the first one, Captain America, I'll say it was pretty solid. I think overall the Captain America trilogy is probably the strongest of all the trilogies in the MCU, but still decent. Captain Marvel, I think, was okay. I think there was some potential that they could have used to make the character better, but I'll just put her under okay. First Iron Man movie, I'm gonna say was awesome. Started the MCU. It was unlike anything we've seen before, and I think even right now it still deserves to probably be potentially in the top 10. I see this tier actually doesn't have all of them. It doesn't show Fantastic Four or Captain America 4 or Thunderbolts. I think Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four are probably top 15 MCU projects. Iron Man 2, I'm going to say is bad. It's one of my least favorite of all of the MCU films itself. Yeah, this was still the early days when the villain was basically just almost a dark reflection of the hero, and that part's fine, but no, I think that was mid. I won't put it F tier, but I think it's not great. Hulk is extremely forgettable. I'll put this in the bad tier for now. Might put it under F, but first Thor, I'm going to say it was okay. Of all the 4 Thor movies so far, I hope they do a 5th one, maybe do like Chaos War or something like that, and show Amatsu Mikaboshi and develop the mythological aspect. Maybe even like Shang-Chi 2 or something can try to do that. I think that would be cool. First Avengers movie, I'm going to put at the top. It's nostalgic. Obviously, this is the first of the Skybeam movies and the kind of Deus Ex Machina when Stark blows up the ship and all the Chitauri just fall. Kind of stinks, but it does really genuinely feel like a comic book movie. Probably one of the few MCU movies that actually feels like reading a comic book. Thor: The Dark World, I'm actually just going to put under F. I actually really dislike this movie, and it might be easily one of my least favorite MCU movies ever. Yeah. Iron Man 3, I think was okay. Not a big fan of what they did with the Mandarin, and the Extremis storyline kind of felt a little rushed. I think it had a lot of potential. Somewhat of a Christmas movie, just like you can make an argument about Die Hard, you can say the same thing about this. But I think it was just kind of okay. It's kind of like a take it or leave it. Captain America Winter Soldier, I'm going to put right at the top. I think at the time it was easily the best MCU movie that we had gotten. And yeah, I think it still holds up. It's the first of the Russo brothers movies too that just got them involved. Yeah, they're gonna do that. Guardians of the Galaxy, I'll put also as awesome. The humor, the style, taking these characters that no one really cared about and making them something big. Kind of introducing James Gunn. He's doing some interesting stuff with the DCU now. Still don't fully love it, but I think that's not bad. But this was a pretty big one. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I'm going to say was just good. Whatever, I'll put it behind the first Captain America right now, under the good tier. So awesome is S tier, great is A tier, B tier is good tier, C tier is okay, D tier is bad, and then F is it failed. I never watched the I Am Groots. From what I know, they're kind of cutesy. I think I saw one episode actually. I'll just put both of them under okay. They're not for me, they're meant for kids, but I'm sure they're cute. There's obviously no earth-shattering things happening in them. Age of Ultron, I think was... I'm going to put it under high okay. I know they're going to bring Ultron back for Vision Quest. I think Ultron himself was a bit wasted. Obviously, we got Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver introduced, with Fox kind of using their Quicksilver, so they MCU killed off their version. And we got Scarlet Witch, who had a lot of potential and hopefully more in the Mutant Saga going forward. First Ant-Man movie, I'm just going to say good. It was kind of fun, kind of making it a heist movie. I don't really think Ant-Man's that interesting of a character in general, but I'm going to say decent entry, something different. Captain America Civil War, I'm going to put under awesome. Really liked it. Think it did a better job than Batman v Superman, which came out in the same year. Interesting aspect. The comic's good. Civil War 2 is... well, I'm probably not going to adopt that, but that one wasn't as good as the original Civil War in the comics, but I think the movie adaptation was pretty good, and it kind of split the Avengers, which made them more susceptible to Thanos. Black Widow, which takes place shortly afterwards, despite being a newer movie, I'm just going to put under bad. I don't think it's F tier. Obviously, there's some issues with the CGI and everything too, but we got Yelena Belova, who I kind of like more than the original Black Widow in some ways. Got to follow Draco's daughter. I'm not a big fan of what they did with Taskmaster, but whatever, to each their own. Black Panther, I'm actually going to put it... I'll put it here. I was going to put it above the original Avengers movie, but interesting concept. Black Panther's really cool. Feels more like the MCU's version of Batman than Moon Knight does right now. But yeah, I thought that was pretty solid. Spider-Man Homecoming. Again, not a huge fan of what they've been doing with Spider-Man, but I know how they have to make it different and integrate into the MCU. So hopefully Brand New Day does that. From what I've seen, it seems to be the case. I think it was pretty good, though. I'll put it at the top of the good list. Doctor Strange. I think he's very interesting. I like him as a character. Love the visuals. In some ways, people have made comparisons to the first Iron Man, but I'm going to put it under the great tier. We need some movies under the great tier anyways. Thor Ragnarok, which I said was a bit overrated, and I'm not a big fan of Korg. I think some of the jokes didn't land for me, but it was different, and it's easily the best of the 4 Thor movies. You know what? I think it's still pretty good. I'll put it under great, but I still think it's not awesome level. There's better stuff. I wish they integrated more stuff from the Ragnarok storyline in the comics, as well as mythology. It's cool that they had the Fenris wolf, but it'd be cool to see Jormungandr, the Midgard serpent, and Garm, and to meet Tyr, and to kind of explore the Norse mythology aspect a little bit more. Ant-Man and the Wasp, I think, was a bit of a nothing burger. Walton Goggins is in it. Whatever. These are movies that I don't fully care about. The okay ones. I'll just put it here. Be a little bit controversial and put it lower, but it's kind of another take it or leave it. The okay movies are kind of like, yeah, take it or leave it for me. Infinity War, actually, I will put probably as the best MCU movie. I think it's the best Avengers movie. Finally have the Avengers lose. It brought Thanos from an unknown comic book character we met briefly in the mid-credit scene of Avengers, and you kind of saw him again in Age of Ultron mid-credit scene, but it actually escalated him to one of the biggest baddies of cinema history. Obviously not the same level as Darth Vader, but still something pretty significant. So I'm going to put that. Unlike my previous tier list where I was ranking it by science, this I'm just ranking based on my opinion. A lot of these movies don't even try to be really scientific. Maybe some of the Iron Man movies attempt to, maybe a little bit of the Black Panther, but other than that, it's and the Ant-Man movies throw in a lot of the word quantum and all this other stuff. Endgame, the love letter to the MCU, the first 3 phases, which were all pretty good. There was no, Citizen Kane in them, and I think the MCU's always kind of been a mixture of good and mid, so phase 4 and 5 aren't necessarily pointed out as being different, and I appreciate them being, at least trying something different. Oh, Wonder Man 2, I did mention Wonder Man. That was pretty interesting. That did kind of feel like the studio. I did thoroughly enjoy Wonder Man as well. I'd probably put that under great tier. Same with Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts would probably also go under great. Captain America 4 felt a bit jumbled. A lot of comparisons, a lot of missed opportunities. It was cool to get Red Hulk, and I think Sam Wilson, Captain America, has some potential. I liked his vibranium wings and everything too. The leader also kind of felt a bit wasted, and I feel like I could have probably done a better job with the script, but I'll put Endgame. You know what? I'm going to put Endgame here. Guardians was good, still has the MacGuffin. The storyline is still pretty simple, but it's fun, and it just brought in characters that we didn't care about. Something that the Eternals failed to do. Maybe if it was a series, it would have done better, but probably not much better. But I'll put Endgame as awesome as well. Loki Season 1, I'm going to say, at the very least, is great. Really, really enjoyed it. It's probably the best MCU show. And you know what? Season 2, I will put... Whatever, I'm going to be a bit nicer there, and I'll put it at the bottom of the awesome tier. What If had a lot of potential. There was a lot that they could have done. What if the other half was snapped? Even if, what if Tony Stark didn't become Iron Man, and then we see, New York getting bombed at the end of Avengers and all this stuff that could have happened. That could have been interesting. But anyways, I think with that... yeah, they did a lot of stories that I didn't really care about. I'm just going to put it under okay. It's take it or leave it. I'll put it above the Groot series, but even Marvel Zombies was fine. It was fun, but kind of take it or leave it. So that's the first season of What If. Second season, you know what? I'm going to put the second season above the first season. I'm going to put the third season as bad. And actually, you know what? I'm going to change it. I'm going to put the first season as fine. I'm going to put behind I Am Groot. Even though I didn't see it. I didn't see I Am Groot. WandaVision I liked. I appreciated them, where they were coming from, being imaginative. I liked the references to previous sitcoms and exploring Scarlet Witch. Obviously, they didn't end up exploring this too well in Doctor Strange 2. Apparently, they didn't even watch it. But I'm gonna say it was good. I'll put it under good. I have my own MCU listing that I did separately, but Shang-Chi was cool. We got a revisitation of the Mandarin. Would have liked to see a more comic accurate one, and one fighting Iron Man. They never did that. Even if they did that in a What If series or something, they could have done so much. 1960s Avengers, there's so many cool things. I think Shang-Chi is an upper middle tier movie. I'll put it... I'm going to just put under good. Just because I have a soft spot for Spider-Man, and I appreciate what WandaVision was doing, but Shang-Chi was good. I'm looking forward to the sequel. This one here... Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I'll put at the top of... Okay. They need to do better. It was cool, it was good. It was interesting seeing Madripoor and the meme of Zemo dancing. But, yeah. Spider-Man Far From Home. Like the travel aspect to it. Mysterio's update was pretty cool. But I'll put it under okay. I think it's the weakest of the 3 Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. Spider-Man No Way Home, obviously for nostalgia reasons stuff too, I'll put under great. The plot didn't fully make sense. I don't know how a memory spell affects the multiverse, but it was cool that they brought all those characters together. I remember the audio hearing when they saw Daredevil, and then even more so with Andrew Garfield, and that see the Green Goblin and everything, and him formerly, Tom Holland Spider-Man, formerly getting the with great power comes great responsibility. Thing was cool. Andrew Garfield Spider-Man saving MJ and redeeming what happened with Gwen. I'm going to leave it under low grade, though, just because the plot didn't fully make sense. This is Eternals. I think Eternals could have been cool. They could have looped in mythology more. Probably would have been better as a Disney Plus TV show. I think it was beautifully shot. I think there is a good movie in there, but I'll just put it under okay. I'll put it here. I'll just put it under okay. Probably would put under bad, but I think it had potential. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness had way more potential. I'm still going to put it under an okay, kind of take it or leave it. It was cool to see John Krasinski as Reed Richards, to see Black Bolt return from the TV show that, I guess that's non-canon. Same with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't know if they're canon or not. Yeah. Hawkeye was fun. I think it was still kind of like, it's cool that they have Kingpin, and I'll put under good. Also, Christmas Story introduced Kingpin. They had Echo, which I thought was really cool. I didn't think they developed her enough yet to give her own show, but she was really cool, and I think there was potential there, and I think she got robbed. I think she wasn't, Echo as a character wasn't fully developed yet. Yelena Belova returning. Haley Steinfeld as Hawkeye was cool. Looking forward to them doing some stuff with the new Avengers. Probably include Mephisto. I think that should all just be Disney Plus stuff, but be cool for them to kind of continue a little bit for a season or two. Not that interested in it, I guess, but Moon Knight had potential. I like the cult aspect of it. I'll put it under the top of good. Said like Phase 4 and Phase 5 overall weren't really that much worse than in quality. Like I think the worst MCU movies was still within 1 to 3, with Thor: The Dark World being one of them. They experimented a lot. They tried some things that didn't work out. I can forgive them for that. Hopefully after Secret Wars and Doomsday they'll continue on the rise. Now we got X-Men, now we have Fantastic Four, we got some of the big hitters, right? They built this entire thing off of characters that no one really cared about. Obviously I think they should continue with the big guys, so that's Fantastic Four, X-Men, Spider-Man, Black Panther, Fantastic Four, Shang-Chi. Like I think those are the ones that they should build as pillars. I'd be fine with them taking the Thunderbolts, which was a good movie but didn't do well overall, just making that kind of like a Mission Impossible style Disney Plus series. Maybe having Sam Wilson and Bucky lead. For now, at least. Wakanda Forever, I think, was pretty good. Very tragic. The passing of Chadwick Boseman. Namor being introduced was interesting. I'll put it under great. Echo, I think, had potential. I think it just wasn't ready yet. I'll put it in between Eternals. I think I guess Daredevil Born Again is definitely MCU, and I think it was the worst of all the Daredevil seasons, but still decent. You can tell it had different people running the show. But Daredevil as a whole is probably the best superhero series ever made. And I think I would probably, if I included Daredevil Born Again just on its own, I'd probably put it as upper okay, lower good. Daredevil as a series, if I included the 3, would be great. I liked the first season of Jessica Jones, but didn't really like it afterwards. Luke Cage had great potential. I liked the first 8 episodes. And then it kind of just fell off. Be cool if they did even just as a special, Heroes for Hire. Punisher I thought was mid. Iron Fist I thought was mid, low mid. But anyways, Miss Marvel was fun. I think it didn't stick the landing, but it was fun. I'll put it under okay. I'm actually going to put it above Iron Man 3. I did enjoy when it first came out. She-Hulk, I appreciate the legal drama aspect and what they were doing with it. I like Tatiana Maslany. She's very talented in Orphan Black. Just think it just didn't work out for her. I'll put it here. Had potential, but Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I'll actually put in great tier. You know what, actually, I'm going to put it in awesome tier. I'll put it above Loki. This is actually the best Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and the Guardians of the Galaxy probably have the strongest trilogy overall. Werewolf by Night was fun. I think it was pretty good. Oops, I didn't mean to put it there. I'll put it above the first Captain America movie. I like Shang-Chi more, I'd say. Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas Special was also pretty fun. I'll put that above Ant-Man. It's cool that Kevin Bacon had a role. I liked all the movie and director references that they had in Wonder Man. And it shows how similar that reality is. Despite all superheroes existing, there's still certain movies and TV shows are still existing. Wes Anderson and all these directors are still making the same movies. Quantumania was just a mess of massive proportions. I'll put it actually below that one. Actually, I didn't talk too much about. Sorry. This one was. It's unfortunate what happened with Kang. I think that whole thing was kind of squandered, but that was a mess. What If 2? Sorry, I didn't. As a movie, as a series, I do like Kahori as a character. I think she's interesting. Seeing Thor with Mjolnir was pretty cool in the finale, though she kind of seemed dropped. I just think there was just so much more potential and they just didn't use it. I think season 2 is the strongest, but still. Oh shoot, wait. I goofed. That's Thor Dark World that I put in A tier. Oh, no, sorry. Thor Dark World is... I'm actually going to put Thor Dark World as F. I'll put it above Thor 2. Gore the God Butcher was completely wasted. The comics are pretty cool if you want to read that. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that too much more. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 I'll put here. Yeah, I'll put it before Endgame. I think that's one of the best additions to the MCU we've ever had. Secret Wars, on the other hand, was a mess. I'm going to put it there. This could have been an entire saga. This could have been its own Avengers movie. This, at the very least, could have been a good Captain Marvel 2, which we could have explored, but no. I think when they reboot everything at the end of Secret Wars, they're going to keep some stuff. I think they definitely should continue the continuity, but certain stuff will be overwritten, and this would be one of them. Captain Marvel 2, I'm sorry, was also very bad. I'll put it... It was still fun, but yeah, it wasn't good. Deadpool and Wolverine, I thought was pretty good. I think it's might be the best Deadpool. Love the nostalgia. Again, nostalgia's getting some points here. I'm gonna put it above Thor Ragnarok. And Agatha All Along, I thought was also pretty good. I thought it was a really good sequel to WandaVision. I think WandaVision was better, but I'm gonna put it above the first. Yeah, I'm gonna put it here. So what do you think of these rankings? Do I want to change anything? Comment below on your MCU rankings. I'm curious to see what everybody thinks. Yeah, do I want to change anybody? I think that's fine. Yeah, there's certain nostalgia things, and again, like that. I think Black Panther is probably objectively a better movie than the first Avengers, but because it really feels... It's probably the only one that really feels like a comic book movie, and I didn't really feel that again for a movie until Robert Pattinson's The Batman movie. So I think I'm going to leave it like this. So anyways, comment below what your thoughts are on the MCU. I'd love to see what you have to think, and feel free to, even if you just want to do your top 10 list, or your favorite movies, your favorite TV shows, or everything, including the ones that aren't included on this pre-made list. But anyways, looking forward to hearing your thoughts, and I'll chat with you later. Ciao.